Hey everybody, welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Tracy Sellers. And by now, we've all heard of heirloom tomatoes, right? Well, what about heirloom beans? We met one family who is trying to introduce a new generation to their special product.
Ever hear of a tiger eye bean or a Christmas lima bean? Well, neither had longtime farmers Kenneth Morris, or his friends call him Chip, or his cousin and farming partner Jerry Fry. That was until they started looking for a new crop to grow at their family's farm in the Sacramento Valley. At the Moore Fry Ranch, they've been farming since 1855 and have grown everything from tomatoes to grapes to sugar beets, but never beans, and especially not beans like these, which are heirloom beans.
But it is a hard thing for someone else to get into because you need so much specialized equipment, and these beans don't come with any instructions on how to grow them. So it's been a real learning curve.
Because every variety is different, they all have different maturity dates, and the plant is a different size, and so you have to learn all these things as you go along.
And as Chip and Jerry soon learned, the tiger eye bean and the Christmas lima bean are just two of the many uniquely named heirloom beans that have been produced and cultivated by various cultures for years. But what is an heirloom bean exactly? Well, it's the history behind the plant. Heirloom varieties come from seeds that have been passed down through a family for several generations, prized for some feature that makes them distinct. In the U.S., heirloom beans come with memorable names like Tiger Eye, Christmas Lima, Snowcap, or Runner Cannellini. And while they were first cultivated in North America hundreds of years ago, these vegetables are just beginning to catch on among consumers as we increasingly search out new and distinctive foods.
All the fields look alike, and then all of a sudden you crack open the pod when they're ripe, and here's this beautiful colored bean.
Part of the appeal of heirloom beans is their scarcity, because the equipment for processing them is so specialized and expensive, and the yield of heirloom beans is relatively low. An entire row of plants may only yield a few pods. There are few commercial growers who will take on the picky plants, and those that do tend to only grow one or two varieties at most, which is why what Chip and Jerry are doing is so unique. They're growing 28 different varieties of beans at their farm, where harvest goes a little like this. Once the beans reach maturity, they are ready for harvest, and a machine comes in and cuts them off the plant. Then they're left in the field to dry for a bit. Then another machine comes in and pushes all the plants together into one neat row. And then this specially made harvester comes through and picks up the beans.
You'd think the drier the better, but in some cases, if they're too dry, the thin skin will crack.
From the farm, the beans are then taken to Fresh Cut Pack in Sacramento, where owner David Tam and his staff are literally counting beans. Here, each one is meticulously cared for, with each bean being individually cleaned and sorted.
This was the first bean that sold out over there.
From here, Chip and his wife Bobby market the beans on their website, and then they also ship them off to grocery stores across the country or to retail outlets such as Williams-Sonoma, where they may just end up in homes like that of our favorite nutrition professor and a regular on California Bountiful, Timmy Hagenberger.
I love all beans. I am a equal opportunity bean lover.
She's a beanaholic.
I think I am a beanaholic, actually, yes.
But Timmery isn't just a bean enthusiast, she's also a registered dietitian and nutrition professor, so she knows firsthand the many benefits of beans.
Beans are superfoods, and I know we use that term a lot nowadays, but it really deserves that title because they are full of protein, they're full of fiber, they are high in all kinds of vitamins and minerals, they're packed with phytonutrients, and we've seen research has shown that eating beans every day can reduce your risk of all the diseases that we're that are plaguing the United States.
Timmery says that heirlooms tend to be both richer in color and flavor, so you don't need to add a lot of seasoning or ingredients to dress up their flavor. From the creamy snowcap, which is great in soups, to the calypso bean, which is black and white and has a smooth, rich texture, Timmery finds a use for each and has helped develop recipes that Chip can then use on his website to entice folks to give their specialty products a try. And why these beans may not be magical, they have been transformational for this duo, as they have both found a newfound passion to get people interested and educated on the beauty of beans.
It's a gift to be able to know Chip and Bobby, because the idea that we know exactly where this is coming from and that it's local, and that I talk to him about what does his crop look like, what's coming up, and then what recipes to start to work on. And it's a gift. And whenever we get a new crop, it's just like Christmas.
Beans can do so much, and I guess I always just wanted to have a little bit of a footprint that I helped really produce something and maybe changed the way a lot of people's lives are being healthier.
And we're changing. Every time we get people to eat beans,
Yep.
we're improving their life.
That's right.
And we are what we eat.
We're just getting going.
We're just getting going, absolutely.
So now the question is, what do you do with heirloom beans? Well, if you're like me, you go over to your favorite restaurant here in North Beach and see what they can do.
Hi, I'm Carlo Espinas. I'm the chef at the Comstock Saloon. And today I'm going to make vegetarian cowboy beans. First, I like to use roasted green onions in my beans. So this pot we start with a little bit of olive oil. And now I have some cloves of garlic. Now I just took a head and kind of broke it into pieces. So we're just going to pop that in. So right now it looks like our onions are getting a nice bit of brown char on here. We can pull that aside. Nice brown color coming on the garlic. Then you can pull it off. So in this recipe for this vegetarian cowboy beans, roasted onions are a main component I like to use to get that smokiness that you would find in bacon. The other ingredient I like to use to make this really interesting and savory is coffee. This is like a really, really concentrated cup of coffee. So we're going to take our beans, add it to the pot we use for the garlic, and start building upon that flavor. Here I have a can of canned tomatoes. It's about a 12-ounce can. I like using ketchup in beans. I know baked beans sometimes you use molasses or something really sweet. I think ketchup has just enough sweetness without going too overboard. A little spice bundle. In this case, I like to use oregano with a little bit of with a single bay leaf in there as well. Now we're going to add our coffee that we strained out. About a tablespoon or so of grounds. I'm going to throw that in there. These are nice and charred and going to give you a lot of the smokiness that you want in these beans. I don't really like peeling garlic. It's kind of a pain. It seems like it takes a long time. Your hands kind of get a little smelly, so I like to roast them in the skins. And so now these are cool to the touch and really easy to peel. Now beans I like to cover with just about 2 inches or so of water. Maybe start medium to medium high just to get the heat going. But ultimately you really want to cook these beans at a pretty low temp, that kind of medium to medium low temperature. And really want to get the beans just to a nice gentle simmer. If you're cooking it too fast and there's like too much action going on in the pot, that's what causes the beans to split. If you go like nice and slow, it'll cook very evenly and the skins will remain intact. So our beans have been cooking for about an hour and a half or so, and I think they're ready to go. So you can see the coffee has kind of tinted the beans into like a nice light brown color. Our spice bundle, which we put up in the string, easy to pull out. Yeah, pretty close. Maybe we'll just throw in a pinch of salt. A little crack of pepper. In a dish like this, kind of want like a little bit of heat. And so we make our own pepper vinegar, but you can use any kind of hot sauce or Tabasco that you want in this. Just give it a few. And I would say if it's a hot day outside, you could probably just serve the beans, just like take them out of the liquid and just serve the beans themselves. It's a little cold outside, so I like serving it more like a stew with plenty of the bean liquid and the broth. Yeah. You got the roasted garlic, chilies, a little of that coffee still in there. And there you go. This is the vegetarian style Cowboy Beans. It's from the Comstock Saloon in San Francisco.
Well, that recipe can be found at our website, californiabountiful.com. And stay with us because we're going from beans to beauty as we find out how apples can keep the wrinkles away. That's straight ahead.
Closed captioning of California Bountiful is provided by Agriculture Liquid Fertilizers. Producing better crops with better fertilizers, it's better for California.
Here in San Francisco, beauty has gone organic, and it's so farm fresh, people like me just can't wait to start feeding their skin.
At Sephora in the Bay Area, the hunt is on for the perfect potion to turn back the hands of time. And thanks to a new product, customers are getting exactly what they asked for. And one thing is for sure, the old adage that you are what you eat takes on an entirely different meaning now. Juice Beauty is the name of a new product line started by women in the Bay Area who began to look at skincare from a different perspective.
Smell the aroma of that. Organic green apples. I never really thought about what I was putting all over my body. And so when I became pregnant at a little bit later age, because I had developed several businesses, I started really reading the ingredients and I thought, oh my gosh, I know I can do this better.
After purchasing the name Juice Beauty, Karen had the catchy name, but now she needed a catchy product to match it. So she teamed up with fellow Bay Area resident Melissa Yoakum, and together the two began to sow the seeds of how to make skincare feed our skin from the outside in.
The name itself, Juice Beauty, lends itself to, well, what if we do science, do chemistry differently? Most skincare products are based in water. What if we start playing and see what we can do with fruit juice bases?
Turns out all those fruit and vegetable juice bases that are high in antioxidants and vitamins that are good for our overall health are precisely what the skin needs too. You see, from the green apple body cleanser to the antioxidant serum, each product in the line has a raw ingredient base of 70% or higher and is packed with freshly squeezed juice concentrate. Apples, cherries, pomegranates, grapes, raspberries. You name the fruit and this duo is finding a way for nature to nurture our skin.
We work with almost 29 different organic fruit juices. That's our start point.
The base, Melissa usually starts with apple juice and then adds brighter or darker juices like cherry or grape or pomegranate. And then, depending on what she wants the product to do, cleanse, moisturize, or exfoliate, she'll add things like olive oil or avocado oil and then some sugar or honey to keep skin refined and looking as fresh as the ingredients that go into it.
I always say a woman could wash her face in apple juice and achieve a better result than most cleansers on the market. These ingredients come from a farm and every harvest is different.
You don't have to tell Gary Collegian that. At his Madera farm in the Central Valley, more than 2,500 acres of every grape imaginable are carefully raised, tended to, and harvested for a variety of uses, including their newest venture, skincare. The grapes get turned into some of the freshest, purest, highest quality wine products around, which is exactly what Karen was looking for when she started Juice Beauty and found Gary to be one of her farmers and raise fruit where every drop of it feeds your skin.
Karen, these are Thompson seedless, and we're going to be harvesting these tonight.
You know, Gary, it's so funny because you're always farming for taste, of course, but we farm for efficacy on the face. So,
You know, people are astonished as far as what we've been doing with these products that we're raising. And, you know, we're finding other avenues to go with them, which is opening up new markets and hopefully, you know, bigger markets for us.
And thanks to farm fresh products like the ones Gary is growing, Juice Beauty has gained a celebrity following and is now being launched worldwide, proving that a healthy lifestyle isn't just what we put in our bodies, but what we put on them as well.
so you have no idea what you're doing for women and men out there with the skin products that you're supplying.
Well, I never thought we'd be growing grapes for that.
For beauty.
For beauty, huh?
And stay with us. There's more California Bountiful coming right up.
The desert region of California is many things to many people. A place to enjoy a gourmet meal, a place to unwind and relax, or maybe a place to practice your swing. No matter what your reason for coming here, there is a lot to appreciate about one of California's hidden treasures. And one more thing to love about the desert, it is a great place to come for a date. Shake. You see, at Shields Date Gardens off Highway 111, a date shake isn't merely a dessert in the desert, but more a way of life. Located in the heart of the Coachella Valley, where 95% of the dates produced in the United States come from, Shields Date Gardens is literally an oasis smack dab in the middle of the desert.
Well, Shields Date Gardens started in 1924 by Floyd and Beth Shields. And really at that time, the date business wasn't really up and running. It was something that the United States government did in 1900s, where they brought some date palms from Middle East, and they tried to see if we could culture a fruit called the date here in the valley. And in about the 20s, it started to really pick up.
Floyd was a pioneer in the date business, breeding his own variety of dates, such as the store's famous blonde and brunette dates that are exclusive to Shields and are grown nowhere else in the entire world. He also invented the date crystals, which are a blend of dates turned into a dry product that can be used in cooking and baking and are the secret to those famous date shakes too. Now in business for more than 85 years, the place is still busier than ever, attracting people from all over.
They're wonderful, and the medjool dates are my favorite.
Yeah, those are exactly. They're inverted, so that means the sugars digest before it's used, so that your blood sugar levels don't go up or down.
Oh, I've got some dates, some peanut butter. I'm a diabetic, and these dates, diabetics can eat them because they don't invert the sugar and it doesn't cause your blood sugar to go up. So I always buy these, and they taste like caramel.
Today, more visitors than ever are paying homage to dates and to the marketing genius of Floyd Shields by taking note of the 30-foot night welcoming them to the shop, or by watching the Shields movie production entitled Romance and Sex Life of the Date, which chronicles the fascinating process in which dates are pollinated and grown. Basically, in simple terms, female date trees produce the fruit, while the male trees produce the pollen. The farmer then plays matchmaker, so to speak, by hand-pollinating each tree, which ends up producing about 200 pounds of fruit per year.
Back in the early 1900s, they had shakes of all varieties, but no one started adding fruit until their late 20s. And in 1924, Mr. Shields added dates as a fruit to a shake. And so he made the very first date shake ever served in the United States. If you look at the records, we have the claim to fame. What we do is we actually take the process of pollinating dates from the bee to the human being, and it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of labor, and it's something that's no one else does in any other kind of business or any kind of fruit. We have to do a little bit more extra than anyone else has to do.
In addition to the revered date shakes, today the once ancient fruit is seeing a newfound appreciation as more and more diverse cuisines find their way into mainstream dining. At the Rancho Las Palmas Resort and Spa and Rancho Mirage, executive chef Leanne Calmacona has come up with something called geocentric cuisine, where she takes her Hawaiian heritage and fuses it with local produce, including those famous dates.
Well, the reason why we like working with them is because it has a different texture, and it has a lot of natural sugars in it. So blending it with different type of, maybe if you look at it in a spicy way, or even in your baked goods, it all translates to natural sugar. It has a lot of vitamins in it that is great for your body. So, you know, we like to use a lot of different things and with different consistencies and different types of textures, which is nice.
Like Leanne, Palm Springs chef James Corwell shares a passion for using fresh local produce in his gourmet plates. And by adding dates to dishes you might not expect, he creates new and exciting flavor combinations that are a surprise to many.
You know, I don't think people are just familiar enough with them. I know they've been around forever, and for me personally, I grew up eating dates, and I think people, you just don't see them enough on the menu because they're not mainstream enough. And fortunately for me, I look like a rock star for using dates.
And using dates in everyday meals is something people are sinking their teeth into. The Shields State Gardens is busier than ever and is expanding with a new 1,000 square foot space being added to the same little store that Floyd Shields started nearly 85 years ago now. So what would the mastermind think of what has become of his little dream in the desert?
I would say that he would say thank you for continuing what I've started. He was a man who said that there's business for everybody. And that when he came here, there was date stores right down the block. There were 6 of them, you know, next to each other. But he said there was enough business for everybody. So what he did was said, you know, I love competition, I love dates, but there's enough for everybody to go around. But he's the last guy standing to this day. So we're really happy with what he started, and we want to continue the tradition.
I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying another beautiful day in the Bay Area here. So stay with us. There's more California Bountiful coming right up. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. But if you'd like any of the recipes you've seen on today's show, or would like more information about the stories, you can check them all out at our website, californiabountiful.com. And if you get a second, check out our Facebook page. We have a lot of fun behind-the-scenes photos from all of our travels across the state. So be sure to check that out if you have a second. And we'll see you again next week on California Bountiful.
A kiss of passion.